Have at it.
Okay.
Conservation service projects. Again, a list. Common ones you'll see around here are native tree, shrub, grasses planting, wetlands restoration. I mentioned the Tryon Creek has a big invasive species removal for English ivy going on. It's been going on for 20 or 30 years. It's amazing. And they've done an amazing job. Animal habitat restoration, I've got a couple of pictures about that. Might click some ideas, native bird, feeder, bath, birdhouse kind of stuff. Especially if it's a native species, that's a good thing to slide into conservation projects to say, okay, we're encouraging native species here. Adopt a park I've heard of. I don't know a lot about it, but it's something to look into if you're interested. There's every year beach cleanup, waterfront cleanup, and recycling drive is one of them that I saw recently that I thought was interesting.
That,
Yes.
what is it, the beach cleanup every year? What is
Solve.
it? Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently, one of our groups went out there and there was really nothing.
It probably depends on which beach you go to.
It probably does. How do you, I mean, because I felt so bad because you knew that these Cub Scouts wanted to pick up a bunch of trash, but you're kind of glad there isn't a bunch. But how do you
I don't know.
balance that? Do you go check it out and throw a bunch of garbage out and now you're
Probably not.
Asphalt before you go versus beach.
Yeah, that-
actually help.
Now, I've done things with Solve for the past year and a half or so. We've always done planting projects, but there's always a coordinator. And if you get on the Solve webpage and you're like, okay, there's these different projects, contact the coordinator, give them a call, say, hey, I've got a group, I'd like to help. Where can we help? Where should we go? Instead of just showing up at Seaside and saying, hey, yeah.
Right.
And
Right.
50,000 people at Seaside.
Exactly.
Yeah, and everyone goes to Seaside.
Because I don't want to waste their
Go to
time.
Pacific City, you know, where no one goes. Yeah.
We also did native bird feeders, and
Okay.
I got the bird guy that was always on West Union watching our eagle last year, and then this year the baby bird, the baby
Nice.
eagle didn't get born. But anyway,
Okay.
so I got him to come over and do the bird section on
Okay,
Oakwood.
yeah, absolutely.
But if you call the Cornell Institute, which actually I thought, oh, the bird thing's on Cornell Road, but it's not the same one as back east.
Okay,
They actually called me back and they told me specific requirements for the
Okay.
birds in our area.
for
we
that
wanted to
particular
do.
species.
The
Yeah.
size of the bird feeders, because
Yes.
if you just stick out a too big one, it's not really,
You'll get
it's not.
you'll get blue
bird
jays
feeder.
instead of whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's
And you
very-
can go in and kill the other birds and stuff, but it's not like.
yes,
The
definitely
difference between 1 1/8 inch hole and 1 1/4 inch makes a huge
massive.
difference.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you want to do one, it's really nice content, and they call me back.
Yeah,
Where
great.
is this again?
It's Cornell Institute
Cornell.
of Birds or something like that.
Okay.
But if you put Cornell Institute online, it'll show you. And
Look
I
that
thought,
up.
oh, I know where the Cornell one is, because there's, you know.
I know where Cornell is.
Yeah,
Different
right, but it's a
institute.
different one, you know. But they actually called me back and told me what birds we had here. They actually know.
And they had all these.
Whole
things.
area.
That's great. So some of the common ones that we'll see Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts doing would be something like simple brush removal. This would probably fall into maintenance of a trail, which isn't exactly conservation. I assume these boys were doing some kind of native species, you know, black bear removal or something like that. Who knows? It was a great photo. These scouts are planting some trees. I assume they're native trees, but tree planting is a great one, whether it be bare root or some kind of potted thing. And again, to partner with some organization that has the authority and has the knowledge of saying, okay, these trees should be planted here because, and here are the trees, is a great way to go. These scouts have some fantastic tree planting shovels. I can tell you from experience, that's bare root tree planting. And they're having fun. And I think I have another photo of, okay, this speaks to your thing a little bit. These are, I believe, are raptor perches, if I recall correctly. And you'll see these occasionally as it's, you know, again, giving native species an opportunity to roost somewhere to hunt. We often think of, you know, the little brown bird or whatnot, but, you know, the hawks and the raptors need places to perch too to do their business. Again, back to, I don't know what these boys are doing with their shovels, but they look hilarious and excited and stuff. Let's see. So that's kind of my list in terms of photos, at least. And I wanted to share with you that, like I mentioned, I worked with Solve for a couple things. It was about almost a year ago, we did a tree planting project at Butternut Creek over off 209th, and they're planting native trees. It was a great project. The boys had a lot of fun. And some of our boys missed it, so they clamored, I want to do it again. And so we scheduled another one 6 months later, and they were going out and mulching and then you're maintaining those same trees for this wetlands area. And so it's kind of neat to have that continuity for us, to work with the same organization, go back to the same place. On the other hand, having diversity and variety of projects is important to be able to do, you know, next time we'll probably do something different, whether it be bird feeders, bird houses or whatnot. But Solve is a great organization. I think it's OregonSolve.org. Guy Miller Tree Plant has a great website, and they're kind of a clearinghouse. If you go in there and say, okay, I've got this day available this Saturday, is it THPRD? Is it, you know, the city of Sherwood has stuff sometimes. And there's usually kind of blanket lists of here are groups that are doing things, you can come help. And I think oftentimes they'll discuss in the list what the age requirements are. Solve is usually really good with not having age requirements. When we worked with them, there was no minimum age. They provide all the tools, and we just brought the manpower. And we had adult supervision, we had younger siblings, we had older siblings. It was great. I didn't get any photos. I failed on that front. But otherwise, it was a great experience. And Solve usually does kind of irregular projects throughout the spring, summer, and fall. So that's when I'd look to it. Again, Guy Miller is very prominent here. The council has some partnerships with them. Does anybody else have any thoughts or ideas? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I know that our church has put out a justserve.org, which has, it's a website for anybody in the community to put on the website their needs. And so you can go there and say, you know, I'm looking for a project. They will send you emails about justserve.org.
Okay.
And so if you go to these organizations, you can also say you can put stuff on there if they're really needing help and they aren't getting it. They'll send an email out to people that have signed up to receive emails like they might want to.
So it's both kind of a push and a pull.
Right. It's a place for everybody in the community to like find out I want to serve, or I need help.
Where can I help?
Where can I go? But
that's great.
It's a great.
Okay. I'll put a plug for that up then.
Yeah. Justserve.org.
.org. Yeah. That's a good one. And Guy Miller's kind of like that too. They have, like I said, they go through various organizations and kind of clearing
What
out.
is it? It's Guy Miller?
Guy Miller Tree Plant. I think it's guymiller.org. I'll have to look it up.
You can put on your
I believe I have a link. Hold on to that because there is a segment. Let's see. It should be next. Yes. Okay. So, I have Solve. I'll go see if there's a good. I know the CPC Council has a page related to Guy Miller. And last I checked, it hadn't been updated for a little while. So if I can find a link, I'll add it. Hopefully I will. Again, if you do a general service project, whether it's on your own or something like that, there's a very general, we did a unit-approved conservation activity segment. Saul has a specific one. Our scouts love this one. It's just kind of cool looking. And then the tree plant for specifically planting trees.
But that's a council sponsor, and they have certain ones that we do.
Right, council sponsor would be specifically Guy Miller or something similar. Yeah, you're right. So if you're just out planting trees, go with this one here. And if it's a council sponsored event, which the council does have a swath of different.
They haven't signed up pretty soon for that one because usually the tree plants go pretty fast.
I don't know. I bet they do. They're usually pretty popular.
At least the good dates do.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Right? You don't want to get stuck.
Or the close ones. You know, you can always go clear to the coast or something.
Right. Well, yeah, and there was some at Gales Creek I remember seeing a while back, and Vernonia or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure that the close-in good dates.
What we did was I can't remember right now. It was hands-on or something. It was another conservation place.
Okay.
That I went through, and we did follow the power lines, and we removed some of the invasive species there, but then we planted bushes and trees that are native to that area. Yeah. Down through the power line area. Yeah. I can't remember exactly. It's up towards Greenwood Parkway. Okay. That area. And so we did it through there, and that was great because we had all the parents, families, you know.
And it's easy access to those usually.
Yeah. It's flatland area. The boys had fun because everybody was hands-on. Everybody's hands were in the dirt.
Yeah,
so
that's always
quick and easy. It didn't take us more than probably an hour, and we had 100+ trees. and
Nice.
bushes planted.
Very nice.
So,
So is marking the drains a conservation one for helping our wetlands, or is it a?
I'm sorry, what was
I
the?
think it would count.
I think, because I just count it as a conservation one, since we're taking care of the water that's going into the
I
wetlands.
think it absolutely is a conservation, particularly because at least where we live,
Yeah.
marking drains, they all flow into Rock Creek, and it
Yeah.
says protect the fish.
Yeah, I could see it go each way because you're providing some service to the community to
Because our
know.
whole thing was protecting our water in our
Right.
area.
I mean, what you're doing is you're making the community aware that there's a drain here, and if there's a bunch of leaves, we need to get that out so that the street doesn't flood. So from that perspective, it's kind of a community service. So you don't have to get out your boat when it rains to get out of your driveway. But you're right, it is also,
Actually, this one's more of don't put chemicals down and too many fertilizers.
Yeah.
Don't have your car oil go down the drain.
yeah,
Because a lot of people move here, they think, a lot of communities in the United States have their drain water goes to a processing plant.
right, and ours just goes
Ours
straight to the
goes straight
stream.
to our wetlands, so
Yep.
our little, power line
Yeah.
path and stuff.
I think it kind of straddles the fence on that one, and from your
I was
perspective.
counting it as conservation.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a big fish on the sticker, I think that's the.
That's the giveaway.
Right. There's like you got a fish
Protect the
There's
there.
a fish on it and some little water.
It's actually great because it borders both and you're providing a informational thing to your community.
Well, and if
right?
you do it right for your wolves, it did a whole bunch of things, because,
Yeah.
you talk to your leaders, so you got your service project with your community. you got-
Absolutely.
So it was a nice project to do, and you can sort of guide them into technically they're supposed to come up with it with 8-year-olds,
That's
you
tough.
guide them into
Yeah.
taking care of our water, and,
Yeah,
and you have the community, I had an article about the water area.
yeah.
And so we were reading about that, and then
I think as a den leader, guiding your scouts into the right service project is absolutely the correct thing to do.
Otherwise, you're gonna end up with something.
We're gonna do jelly beans.
Difficult for you to pull off.
Right.
What has candy?
Yeah. Well, but it worked out really well with the new book. I'm really
Yeah.
pleased the way that
That's great.
service came in there, and they're really happy to give the tours for free
Oh, good.
at the
That's
water
fantastic.
places.
But in terms of, you're basically asking which segment. Pick whichever one you think works best. I mean, there's no wrong answer except for all. But again, with Cub Scouts, and the immediate recognition is important to have them wear something. I went and planted trees at a tree farm, at a council-sponsored event, and I got this cool green patch on my shirt. That's an important part of Cub Scouts. And beyond that, there are a couple
I
of
was gonna
awards.
say, I wouldn't get hung up the fact that it says it's council sponsored. I mean, these aren't like advancement where you have to sign and what all the requirements.
Yeah, they're not actually tracked.
And some of the requirements, if you read for the segments, they're a little bit ridiculous. How difficult some of the segments are.
Or they're vague, or, yeah.
What I've done, and I'll admit to it, if I've given out the top patch 2
Yeah.
straight years, and we've actually planted trees, I'll give out the bottom one because
It's different.
it's different.
Yep,
And they'll be able to remember,
yeah,
like we march in a Veterans Day parade every year.
Yep.
And I alternate the parade patch and the patriotic service patch. So it
Right.
makes it easier for them to remember different events.
exactly. I agree completely. I think that's the correct answer. There are some awards. Again, all these are available for your Cub Scouts to earn. Conservation Good Turn is a very straightforward one. Do a conservation project. It's very open-ended. Decide if you want to give them that patch or not, and then check with the requirements and see if that works for you. It's neat for them to have a patch, whether they sew it on a brag vest, a red vest, or a blanket or whatever, to have something to remember that. Cool experience. World Conservation, I talked about in January. It's a very cool one. You do a conservation project, and then depending on what rank you are, you do a couple more things, whether they be advancement. One of them is an advancement required. There's a couple of advancement electives and a few other things. It's a really cool one. It's been around since the 70s, if I remember right. There's one for Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and I think there's one for venturing too. Yes.
So that was one of the ones that all my boys are doing, the World Conservation one.
Very cool.
Because we did the bird one, and
Yeah.
we did the fishing.
Perfect.
We have some really good fishermen that they always catch fish at the Rock Creek
Yeah.
Pond.
They actually
Which is now
catch
called-
fish then,
Oh,
really?
yeah, it's stocked. It's stocked. So you have to have the right guy, and he has on his phone what the day that they stocked it.
Because we've gone fishing there and had great portable.
No, you have to. You don't
The
have
dump
right
truck's
guy.
driving out, the Cub Scouts are driving in.
So you have to, this guy I know, and all 10 boys catch their own fish.
That's
It's
awesome.
perfect.
That's excellent.
And it's right there close to us,
Right,
so it's
right.
really nice. And they stock it, you know, that week, so
Yeah,
they're ready to go. You don't wanna go other times, so you don't catch
you're
it.
not gonna get my,
But, what I was wondering is, when I go to mark, okay, so we did that stuff, switching to the new program,
there are new requirements.
right, no, but some of the things that we did, like, so if we did a conservation project then,
Yeah.
and now we're on a new program, and he's a wolf,
Eh,
I can put in the new program to count?
I wouldn't say that you'd have to do another one. Just if you did something like in May and new program and you're looking at finishing those by, sometime.
Well, no, but I'm wondering, like, so my new boys that are coming in,
Yeah.
that are switching, because I have some boys that were doing the old program, but
Okay.
now they're switching to the new
And
program.
you have an overlap.
So I'm
right?
gonna sort of mark their stuff on, and I haven't figured out, I think I might have to have two
For the
ends
new
on my
boys,
scout
yeah.
track,
For the
because-
new boys that they haven't done something.
No, I mean, they're not that new, but they haven't gotten their wolf yet, and
Okay.
so they're gonna go to the new program. Some are choosing to stay on the old program.
Oh, interesting. So, well, the
They've
thing
all
is
done
though.
the project, some are going into the new program, some
And
are
so
still
then I
in the
should
new
mark it
program.
there on the new program, what
Okay.
they did for the thing, and then the ones that got. the old
And so
program.
you're kind of caught in this transition limbo.
Exactly.
And like David O'Connor said a couple months ago, the line item is just do your best.
Well, what I
Go
was,
with it.
what I was
You can
thinking
mark
is
it.
having to make 2 dens for me on Scout Track. And
Yeah.
so I was gonna put, and so that I can mark on both
Right.
ones for what I do. So I'm making parents decide whether they're gonna do the old program or the new program.
Yeah.
We discussed a couple of months ago too, that you can blend the programs.
But
Yes,
I-
especially for
we
the
started
LDS
doing
units that they're having this
Yeah.
overlap where.
Because I've got,
Scouts
got boys still in until November that haven't gotten their wolf, but then I have some
Exactly.
that have got it, so, as soon as the new boys come in, they're obviously on the new program.
Right,
But I have,
You have some holdovers.
10 boys, and
Yeah.
I have, probably 5 of them are gonna stay on the old program because they're almost done.
I don't think that's a problem. I would think,
So I'll just go through and mark like a
Yeah.
date from what we did before.
but
It's
again,
just
in
gonna be
terms
part
of
the
each
track.
scout that you're ushering to and guiding them to earn this, just make sure that they've done a project, whether it's the last one or another one. That would be the thing for me. And then if they're working on Wolf on the old system, then it works for, in my opinion, to go ahead and use the old requirements for world conservation.
Well, and Scout Track lets you do, well, we finished the world conservation for that very reason, so we're
Yeah.
done. So
Oh,
we don't have to
great.
worry about
Perfect.
that. We did it on the old program, so I
Yeah.
don't have to start new requirements.
Right.
But what I want to know is if I can take things that they did for the old program and mark it in there for the new book.
In terms of the requirements are essentially the same?
Yeah, yeah,
Then it's done.
we
If they
just
already did
did,
it, then it's done.
we just did the
Yeah.
bird thing and stuff. No, not towards the world conservation, but
towards
the
their
requirements they have, toward advancement.
Unless they've just transitioned to a new rank, working on a new rank, or if they're working on the same rank within the last November to this November, for instance, right? LDS, right? Yeah, if they've fulfilled that requirement during that span, yeah,
Okay.
I don't see why not.
Okay, because I have a lot of stuff that they did on the old program,
Oh,
and
yeah.
a lot of boys are using it.
Again,
I heard
it's
to just budget, so it's close enough that if
I mean,
they
they've done
did
the
this
work.
and it's close to
Yeah.
this, then.
and the professionals in the house is not saying no. So I think the answer is just go with it. You're fine. And the important thing is to make the program fun,
But
engaging.
record it is the trick, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
have like 2 dens, I'm making 2 dens on Scout Track, so I have den
Right.
2003
An old
and
den and a new den.
2015, and then the ones that chose
Yeah.
to stand old, because otherwise, what are the parents gonna mark on Scout Track if I don't have the new program?
Yes.
You're way too awesome.
I think you have the exact correct answer.
I was gonna say the same thing. You're
Well,
going-
I didn't know I'll get the wolf, but
Yes.
I wanted to actually do something to get the wolf, and,
Yeah.
and the new program is so great, I'm just loving the way,
Yeah.
it like follows so well with outdoor stuff, it's just like
It
that
does.
project turned out really nice to go.
Let me get back to this. There's a really big award that if you guys in your packs do lots of service projects, look at the Outdoor Ethics Award. As adult scouters, there's a series of things that you can earn with this. Cub Scouts can earn one of the levels. There's a Boy Scout thing. It's a really involved award. We're going to talk about it in, I think, 4 or 5 months. It's cool, and it's kind of a neat thing. Take a look at it. World conservation is very doable within the den. If you, as a den, and it's usually best done at the den because the requirements are so rank specific.
Did the den leaders get an award for that?
Den leaders cannot wear that one that I'm aware of. Den leaders can wear outdoor ethics. There's a different set of requirements for scouters. But yes, you can earn that one. The World Conservation, Scouts only. Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts venturing. Be aware of these. Check them out if you guys do service projects, especially conservation stuff. There's some great things here. And again, our Scouts love to wear awards and earn these things. There's a set of tool guidelines that comes from National Council. I want to make you guys aware. I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to blast through these a little bit. These make sense. You can give a Cub Scout a shovel or a trowel or a screwdriver, no problem. And the rest of these are kind of Boy Scouts or adults. Don't give a Cub Scout a pickaxe, a postal digger, a handheld sander, a Dremel is not a good idea. Again, getting older.
Wait, what about a screwdriver?
Well, if it's a handheld screwdriver, that's okay. I think
Okay.
they're talking about an electric screwdriver.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We're just kind of keep that, you can use the little Phillips, that's just handgun, that's fine. Getting, not electric edger or gas powered, hedge trimmers, belt sanders, not Cub Scout tools. Again, wood chippers, chainsaws, just leave that to the adults.
If you see them trying to put their nail on a piece of wood, you're never going to give this.
Exactly. And this is where all this comes from. If you want to go back, if you get into Boy Scouts, eventually want to refer back to it, there's a link. Again, insurance issues, just be aware. Okay, service projects. We just talked about this. They're required for every rank. A couple of these are duty to gods, but Weeblo's walkabout we talked about. You got to do something kind of near or with regard to this hike adventure. Council Fire, I believe, is the one that you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
And Tigers have one too. It's very open-ended and simple, but everybody has a service project of some kind. And if we do it as a pack, if we do certain things as packs, and then facilitate that to our dens, it makes it easier. So be aware, Cub Masters, committee chairs. Why do we do service projects? Not just because it's a requirement, because it's part of scouting. In Boy Scouts, there are rank advancement requirements for service projects for, I believe it's second class Star Life, and of course Eagle at this point. With these, we really want to just encourage our Cub Scouts to come out and do it because they're having fun, they're doing good things. It's not a requirement for their, beyond this list, for their rank advancement. So we want to instill that, giving back to our community. And again, this is a character building program. This is part of building character with our Cub Scouts. We do this because we're part of a community. We want to give back to the people that surround us. We want to give back to the earth that is all of ours to inherit, etc., etc. Okay, this is where I really want to get to reporting. I hope everybody is reporting their service hours because National really wants you to. Here's the web page. If you don't have a login, create one. Do you know if it's Key 3 only that can do this, or is it anybody?
Yeah, I think it's anybody.
I think it's anybody too. Create a login and make sure that you, with your den leader, and you do a den service project, I'm pretty sure you can do this. Here's the thing, when you're on a project, note these things. Date is one of them. Number of registered youth scouts. If you have siblings or non-registered youth, like friends that come and visit and help, mark them down too, different bucket. Registered adult leaders. Sum up those, how many den leaders, Cub Masters, whoever's registered, how many of those do I have? And then usually other adults, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, dad that's not registered, and they help. Add those up too. Those are 4 buckets of numbers you need. And then total hours served. So what I do is we have 20 scouts come and do a thing, and we work for 45 minutes. That's 15 hours. Boom, done. That's all you need to know. So then you log into this. The other way to get there, by the way, is my.scouting.org. There's your e-learning up there I talked about before. There's your link, service hours reporting, right there. And it takes you to this website, servicehours.scouting. Use your login to get in there. You'll see this screen. It should have your name, your pack number, your council that's correct. And if you want to see what you've done in the past, there's the link, and there's your list. Boom, there's your history. Always use the return home to go back to that list. Yes, question?
Is this linked to Scout Book?
No. I believe it's totally separate.
Totally separate.
So when
But
they
it's-
say tracking your service hours on Scout Book, doesn't
That's
automatically
for the
say.
unit, right? That won't be for
Right.
this. And one of the main reasons they would like all units to do this across the nation, so when they go to a ESCO corporation, they go to someone and say, hey, we've done 170,000 service
Hours, yes.
hours,
Yep.
and wouldn't it be awesome if you gave $1 for every service hour scouts?
National likes to roll this up. So help
Yeah.
us out and report your service.
So
So
it's also fun at the end of the year for you guys to report, that the pack XYZ has done so many services.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Exactly. So when you're ready to report your service project, there's the middle, like Eagle Scout projects are down here, that shouldn't relate to many of us. You'll get this list. I know, I'm sorry you can't read it, so I'll zoom in. Here's messengers of peace up here, personal, dimension, community, environmental. Those are the three. Go research that, have fun. And there's a whole bunch of things in here for ideas, meal collection, meal serving. The Boy Scout group that's chartered by the Kitten Grange, my wife happens to be a member, every year.
874.
That's right. Every year they do a turkey dinner in October, and the Boy Scouts and now the Cub Scouts offer to come and serve and give service. That falls under serving food. And they're offering service to their chartered organization. Boom. Litter cleanup, tree planting, whole bunch of ideas on here. So we're going to pick, because we did litter cleanup, we're going to pick litter cleanup. Date of service project, this is what you'll see. These three tend to be a little bit unique for each bucket, so pay attention a little bit. But remember those 4 things I told you to record. Number of youth members, number of youth non-members, adult leaders, other adults, and then total hours service. They don't need to know that Billy worked for 3 hours and Bobby worked for 5. Total hours, that's it. And then if you had a partner, be it Solve, Adopt a School, you would select what that would be. And then down here you talk about what you did. If there was a different organization, like we work with our church to do a thing, you put that in there. Take note, do not use special characters. When I did the last one, was going to give back to our chartered organization with double quotes. It freaked out. Be very, very careful. It took me forever to figure out why it was screaming at me. Just plain text, everybody. Learn from my mistake. Questions about this? This is a good thing.
So
And
should
this-
you go back like all the ones we've done this year and put it in?
In fact, this list that I have here starts when I started reporting them as chartered committee chair for my unit.
And you didn't put this on your list to us after?
This will all be on the site. You'll be able to download this, and there's a link. All these links are live.
Yeah, but you're going to tell us this stuff on your email to me, right?
Absolutely, yes. All this is in there. You'll be able to go through and say, oh yeah, Mike said this, blah, blah, blah. This is the hard form. Record those 4 things, the number of people, the number of hours, and the date, and you're good to go. And always submit. Yes.
The thing too is I had one boy that can't go out when it's above like 85 because of seizures.
Yeah.
So I gave him a section to do with his parent for the next morning.
Yeah.
And then I had 2 boys that missed, and so their moms did it a few days later.
Right.
So I added them to my total
This
hours.
comes back to do your best.
The thing that was nice about that kind of search project, they could do it on their own.
Yeah.
Like after.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. And
They
some of these
took
things,
it down
like
as-
with Solve, we couldn't do that. It was a day project. And the scouts that missed it, they were kind of upset because they had soccer or whatever.
Right.
But the important thing is that total number of hours right there.
Right.
And yeah, if it's like, 29.8, that's 30. Close enough. Call to action. This is my call to action. Get your scouts out. Sounds like everybody's pretty much doing this already. Get your scouts out and do service projects and strive for a variety. That's one of the reasons I wanted to present this today, is to say, look at all these different things we can do. Don't get stuck in a rut. It was about a year ago, we did the Adopt a School for a long time, twice a year, and we just pulling weeds in this courtyard. And we finally decided, let's do something else. Let's do this Solve thing. And one of my parents came up to me, real quiet gal. She said, Mike, I am so glad that we're not pulling weeds. Thank goodness. And you don't know that they're frustrated or tired of doing that until you do something else and like, thank God we're not pulling weeds. Age appropriate, safety first. And then make sure you do plan your project. Like with your clean water services, you're able to work with them and get those parents involved. This is a great one, and Brian will back me up on this. A couple weeks ago, we had a symposium, if you will, on how to engage millennials in recruiting. And one of the takeaways is millennials, by the way, are like 24 to 35-ish right now. These are the moms and dads of the scouts we're trying to recruit. They're really hard to recruit to wear a badge, to wear a uniform, to wear a title. If you have a new mom or a new dad and you want to get them engaged, they like generally speaking, to have something that's very well bounded, both in terms of scope and time. I'll help out with the blue and gold, because once you get to the blue and gold, it's done. This is a great one to get a young mom or dad involved. Hey, can you help us out with a service project? We just need to do a service project for this organization. Here's the date, and they know by the time they get there, they're done. And you've pulled someone in. Hey, I got Bob over there to do a service project. Maybe I can talk to him next time about going to camp. Maybe I can get him to wear a uniform after a while. Millennials are slippery, was the takeaway that I had on that one. So there's my suggestion. If you have a new mom or dad or grandpa or whatever, do a service project. Ask them to spearhead it for you.